Well, okay, so
Well,
now think about this. When Kylo Ren stopped the blaster shot, has that ever happened before? No one's
No.
ever done that.
no one's ever done that yet. Well,
Yeah.
that was what I was gonna ask though. But like when that
Oh
CG
yeah, that was really
character
cool.
came up, I was like thinking he was
Gigantic.
Yes.
like I was thinking I was like,
thought it
am I
was-
watching Marvel? I'm like, am I watching Marvel?
Yeah.
Something like that because like I thought it was gonna be like, but it turns out he's not really that big though.
Yeah.
He's that was
More
just
than
like
likely, yeah. It's just a
Yeah.
projection, yeah.
So here's
Yeah.
But, like,
two
yeah, go
theories
ahead.
on who Snoke is.
Yeah, 'cause I
One,
don't-
it's Darth Vader, which I don't like.
I don't
Um,
think no.
Two, it is, which I personally like, is Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis is the guy who trained Darth Sidious, the Emperor.
Palpatine.
I thought he killed him. Oh yeah, because like there's that giant
Right.
scar within his head.
And that's-
yeah.
And he says that
He
he
says
had
he killed
powers
him.
over death, like
Yes.
to bring people back to life.
Exactly.
That was the
Oh,
whole reason.
that would be a better story.
right. Like they
That
are
would be
alluding to this
story.
character who can cheat death, and wouldn't it be
However-
great if he did?
I heard that at one of the like Comic-Con or something, like they had the whole staff, like Lawrence Caspian or whatever, the writer of the movie, and somebody asked him like about Darth Plagueis, and he was like he didn't even know who Darth Plagueis was because he never wrote those original or the prequels.
Do you
He
think-
only wrote the original trilogy. Yeah, it could have been misdirection,
Right.
But like at the same time, I feel like yeah, he didn't take part in any of those original three movies. Like I mean,
Yeah.
prequel. Sorry.
Right.
So like he might not like even consider that a thing.
Interesting.
And you know it's Andy Serkis that's playing that guy, right? The guy that does like
Smeagol.
Caesar and all the other shit that's like CG actors.
Yeah.
You said Andy Serkis?
Yeah. They got,
Serkis, like Serkis.
I think
Like the
it would be cool
Yeah.
if it, like I feel like
Ah.
he has to. I feel like he could be a Sith Lord, but also he might not be either. Like
He could just be like this ancient dude.
which would explain.
Yeah.
Well, so kind of explain why Kylo Ren has such wonky training in the first place, but they kind of allude to that he hasn't been fully trained anyway.
Right.
And so I thought that was interesting to just.
it's just so much backstory because like the thing is like if he was training with Luke, how did that that guy, what's the guy's name again?
Snoke?
I forgot. Snoke get to him in the first place.
Dumb name too.
Especially if they're on
Yeah.
on a deserted planet or something and they're training or whatever like that. I don't know if it was deserted in the
Well,
first
I
place,
mean,
but
you can force whisper. I feel like that
I
happens.
know,
all
but
the
that's
time.
but like I don't know, but I'm just like wondering like what set him off. Like I know it's gonna get to
Oh, yeah.
in the later
what do you
movies
mean?
and everything.
What set
like,
Ren
Set
dark
yeah,
side.
ran off like to the dark side.
To the dark side? Oh yeah. Well, we'll see.
Also, another thing that I don't like that I heard just from my boss that I was when I was at work is that they're not just making an episode like 7, 8, 9. They're actually
Right.
making spin-offs to like
Yes.
where like it shows other people in the galaxy
Yep.
Yeah.
and like their backstory before they go.
Yes.
So like there's gonna be more movies. So I'm kind of like concerned a little bit like how that's gonna
Right.
tie into episode
Well,
8, 9.
It's not going to.
No, the next.
It's not
the
going
next,
to.
The
So it's like
first
completely
spin-off
different
movie.
movies.
The first spin-off movie is about the pilots that stole the plans for the original Death Star.
Which has been on everybody's mind, right? Like
So
how
like
the hell-
in episode 4, they say like we had spies that had to get the plans for the Death Star, so now we know it's like one structural weakness. Like that's in the episode 4.
So it's gonna
So
be
this-
spin-off like episode 4. Not
Yeah, so this
episode
this
7
movie
or
is just going to be like part of the Star Wars universe, but not necessarily related at all to 7, 8, and 9.
Do you think it's gonna
Well-
do as good though?
It has a really good cast as far as I've seen so far. I mean, it comes out next year in winter, I think.
Star Wars movie every year.
And
Well, I
then
think-
then the summer after that is when episode 8 comes out.
What? So we had to wait 2 years?
For
Yeah,
episode
that's-
8, yeah.
That's every movie. That's every.
A year and a half,
ever.
actually.
Nuh-uh. The
Yeah.
Hobbit,
Well-
they had it released every year. Harry Potter
No,
had it
it
released
was-
every year.
No,
No, Harry Potter was
Star
released
Wars
every
is
year.
2
no,
years.
it was not. Harry Potter was not every year. The last two were because they filmed them back to back.
Ugh,
Huh. Well,
I'm
well,
pretty mad then.
I have one question
2
here.
years.
And the one thing that kind of, I'm not saying like upset me, but every time they would go to Snoke, it was Kylo Ren and that commander dude. Like, and I kept thinking of them almost like on the same page. I'm like, but Kylo Ren should have been like the ultimate guy. Why would
Yeah,
they
well, that's
Well,
the
he's
thing.
like a kid though. Like
Yeah,
they're
you
both
see him
young.
throw a temper tantrum. He threw like
Yeah.
a temper tantrum. Like
Yeah,
and just,
exactly.
Please, like just destroy that terminal. And he's like, anything
Kylo Ren
else?
is just like trying so hard to be like this cool, badass, like intimidating character that Vader was. But I think General Hux, the other guy,
Yeah,
like
General
knows
Hux.
that he's just like kind of like a chump. Also, he's just like trying so hard. He's like he
Yeah.
almost probably
He could
like makes fun of him.
Yeah.
he
You know?
could kill him though in a
Yeah,
second.
but why
Yeah,
do they
but
go up to Snoke like together like as peers instead of like
but like
because-
Vader could have killed all of his generals, and he did kill a few of them, but he didn't kill like all of them. Like
Like the
General,
one who like said that he was like his puny force thing, and remember he was killing him, and then he was like,
chokes him, yeah.
and then
Yeah,
the one
one
guy
guy's
told
like,
him to
"Stop."
stop, and
Yeah,
he
and he
did.
does,
I was like,
yeah.
what? He did, like, because I remember I watched it again and I haven't seen it in a long time. I'm like, why did he
Exactly.
stop? Like, that's not his style.
But
Like,
that's
he
just
doesn't take
it. Is
orders.
that I mean, even now more than ever, they're weakened, right? The Empire is weakened, so you need any competent people. Like the Husk he's got a whole army to run, and he proved his worth in that speech. Like he can do things, he can execute against things. So if Ren were to kill him, he would have to answer to Snoke, and I don't think Snoke necessarily wants Husk gone. Like there's no real predecessor yet set up. So it's not like you could just like they're disposable. Like every guy counts at this point because they need all the help they can get to get back
That's
to,
true.
you know what I mean? The Empire.
I just thought it was interesting though that they were going and addressing Snoke the whole time, like almost as peers. When I'm sitting there trying to think of this guy as the ultimate,
Right.
ahead of all of them. So that was the one thing I just kept looking back at, like, why?
I mean, even
So-
Vader wasn't the ultimate. It was the Empire.
No,
Emperor.
Yeah, the
right,
Emperor.
of course.
And Clay, you said that there's been no redemption story, but Vader was a redemption story because he redeemed himself at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yes, okay, but no redemption
Which-
story in the fact that we get to see the dark guy turn, and then we get a whole movie of that guy on the good guy's team.
Yeah,
So I was
that's
really actually hoping.
Do you guys think that'll happen?
I hope so, yeah. I kind of want Kylo Ren in the next movie to come to the light side, and then the third movie is about them. I have a theory that the next movie is going to be Rey at the Jedi temples, and as in parallel, Ren will be at the Sith temples. And the Sith temples have tombs of all the major Sith lords. And if they want to take a page from the expanded universe, they can resurrect Exar Kun, who was one of the most powerful Sith lords way back in the Old Republic days. And he
Yeah.
could potentially rise as the newer threat. Kylo Ren redeems himself, and the third movie is about them taking out Snoke and maybe another Sith Lord or something like that. I don't know, but like seeing, I don't know.
General
Some
Husk
people-
turns into the Sith Lord.
No.
Yeah, no, I've considered that too because I know they're getting Benicio del Toro to play a bad guy,
Right.
or supposedly rumored to play a bad guy in 8.
Right.
And that's kind of what I had a similar theory that he would turn back in 8 and then be on the good side. But do you think that having killed Han was like his way to like commit himself 100% to the dark side?
Honestly, like the way that was executed, it's so hard for me to believe that he would be redeemed.
yeah.
Right.
Like
there's
the
no
way he was so unapologetic. Like they didn't even fight, and he was forced to do it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he was just slimy
You wanted to just
about
like
it.
finally
Not
do
only
it.
that, but
Yeah.
not only that, but think of like other people's aspect. Like I mean, I don't even think that even if you made him coming back, like, could you even forgive him? Like, you're seeing
Right.
this guy kill Han, and you're like,
Unapologetically.
right, and then you're thinking like, how you can't come back from that, really? Like, even if they wanted to flip the story, you really can't come back from that because like you wouldn't be forgiving
The
for
only
that
way,
person.
Right.
like you have to.
Right, Vader, it worked because he died. Like you're just like, dude, this guy like slaughtered like all these kids, like killed all
Yeah.
these Jedi, like
And he kind of redeemed himself, but he died though.
he redeemed himself, so it's like you like can give him peace because he's gonna die.
I think for that story to work out, I think that's what's probably going to happen. Like Clay, like you said, that he's going to come back to the light side. They're going to face the dark side. He's going to do something to like sacrifice himself for what's her name,
Possibly. Yeah.
Rey,
Possibly. See it.
and then she's going to die that way.
I would hate that. I would actually like Ren to stick around. And you know
Yeah,
what?
I
What
would
a
rather
great
just him be bad guy for the rest of the movie.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
we've seen that, and I don't want to.
No, we haven't.
I mean, Vader.
The Emperor,
Vader,
but that's it.
yeah.
The Vader was an evil.
But he's
dude.
still got redemption. Like they start like hinting
I
at it all the entire time in Return of the Jedi that he's like got some good in him still. Like
Yeah.
they say it
Yeah.
time and time again. He's like, there's still good in him.
Oh,
There's still
but
good
That's the
in him.
same. That's the same thing with Ren. Yeah,
But that's
they're
what I'm saying.
saying
That's
so-
why I don't want him
Oh,
to
okay.
come
You
back.
want-
Like I just want him
Yeah.
to be like
Got
complete.
it.
I guess I believe that there's a bigger difference in feeling in a story arc if he does get redeemed way earlier and has a whole movie dedicated to him on the good side.
And that's
No.
another thing I was
I don't
going to
think
ask
so.
too was
That's why Vegeta's so cool, because he was such a fucking dick, and then he's like on the team with the good guys. He's
Yeah,
this like
but-
rebellious dude, and you're like, he's badass.
that's the other question I was going to ask too was that you know the part where he's like you see Darth Vader's helmet, right? And he's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
asking himself, and he was like, I hope I can make you proud, grandfather. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that. but like, I mean, what kind of story did he get? Because like at the end, like if he knew, like if he was training with Luke, Luke would tell him like he was dark and all this other stuff, but then he was good at the end. He saved me, blah blah blah, this
No,
and
but
that.
maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't get that information to him.
Oh,
We
okay.
don't know.
So maybe I'm thinking, yeah, you're right.
No.
But like,
Now-
yeah. So you're right. I don't know.
Now,
Maybe
two-
Snoke said something differently.
Now, two characters I would like to kind of not see come back, but like maybe like an offspring of them is one Yoda. Would be cool to see like a little.
He's dead.
Like
Yeah, he's dead.
no, not Yoda, but like maybe his
similar
kid
character?
Or, yeah,
No.
Jar Jar
something like.
Binks.
No.
Jar
Jar
Jar.
Jar Binks would be in
No,
this, right?
Fuck that.
Yeah, Darth Jar Jar.
Darth-
You need to introduce new and original characters for this universe to feel like it's a fucking universe. You can't just keep having
Right.
the same
Yeah.
people.
But I don't know. Yoda was one of my favorite characters
I think
of all Star Wars.
Maz Kanata, the girl,
She was
the like
interesting.
the alien thing. I think she was kind of like a new Yoda-ish character,
Okay.
like wise and like force sensitive.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
pretty cool, yeah.
Except
No,
I
no.
thought CG on her was garbage too.
Yeah, they-
All the CG characters were stupid. I hated the fucking roly tentacle monsters.
Yeah.
They're bad.
One thing I
that's
think that was a little bit too early was him taking it off his fucking helmet. Like,
Why?
it
No,
was
that's
too early.
it had to. No, that was the point.
Yeah.
It's like you think he's this really badass dude that's like Vader, like incarnate 2.0,
No, he's
but you
like
realize
this-
that he's just trying super hard
Yeah.
to like look like a scary badass guy.
Yeah.
Like, but he's not. He's just like
He's
a kid.
not. He's a little kid.
Yeah.
That's what I was like when he took it off. I'm like, dude, he doesn't look so badass anymore. Like,
They-
at all.
They focused so heavily on that helmet being so heavy. Why was that?
Oh.
Every
Because I
time he
think
took
it's
his
'cause-
helmet off, it
'cause
would
it's
just
literally-
drop like a goddamn
I
anvil.
think it was because to show that like it's not even like a like comfortable thing to wear. Like he's literally putting on like this burden to like have the mantle of Darth Vader.
right,
You know?
right.
Like
okay.
it's not even like he's trying so hard to be Darth Vader. He's even putting up with this fucking massive ass helmet. You know?
That makes a lot of sense metaphorically.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Almost-
because he was trying to train for like he's constantly using the Force to keep it up, and so that's why he's so strong. Like it's part of his training. You know, like it's like the cryo chamber or whatever, or like where
Oh.
you know what I mean, where they're like doing like 10,000
Like Dragon-
times. Yeah, Dragon
Dragon
Ball
Ball Z, where he has all the weighted clothes
Yeah,
on. and he's-
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I thought like when he takes it off, he's just even
Well,
stronger.
now after Rey injured his face, I think he has a reason to like wear it.
Right now,
Yeah.
right now it's
Good
become
reason. Yeah.
right.
And one thing I was going to say back about Kylo Ren being evil is we've never seen a story arc where he's like 100% committed to evil. Like at the very end of Revenge of the Sith, we get Anakin like turning to the dark side for like
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
20 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
But like we've never seen kind of like what the rites of passage are for becoming an evil character, like when you're young or whatever. Like start off
Right.
like Kylo Ren, so we'll get to see him kind of maybe complete his training as like an evil guy or something.
Yeah,
and, like,
I know.
see
I have a lot
that
of
Sith side.
Yeah.
I know I have a lot of questions, but here's another one too. Like I know it's like the beauty of movies and everything like that, and how things seem so much shorter than they are. But does anyone really know how long Luke trained with Yoda? Because it only seemed like it was
Not
like a
long
month.
at all. I don't think very long.
It only seemed like it was a month, maybe not even long. That long.
Which made sense. Darth Vader
Well,
hasn't
because-
even used really the Force in a long ass time, so they're
Right.
both really rusty. They were on even playing field.
Well, that's the thing I was saying too. Was like I get the sense like in the very first ones that like Jedi's trained for years and years,
Since
even
birth,
since
basically.
birth. You know what I mean? Like, but then you got Luke, who seemed like he trained a little bit, and like now he's going off in the universe like 30 years later, and like over that span of 30 years, he's training other people. Like how much did he really know about the Force? And like that's why I'm kind of like getting like I thought maybe that's why Kylo Ren's the way he is, or like you were saying that Snook, maybe he didn't, or Snoke, whatever, Snoke didn't really know that much either, and was like training him differently
I
too.
think-
Like that's what I'm.
No, I think that it's also almost like what's it like biological based on or genetic based on your lineage. Like the same way people think Rey might be naturally powerful, like Anakin and Luke were both like naturally powerful because he was his son. So maybe like you would develop those powers over time anyway. And I'm sure like he can still go to like those Jedi temples and find that knowledge to learn how to become more powerful Jedi as well.
Yeah.
It's like they specifically say that he went to the Jedi temples to like find that or seek the knowledge or whatever.
And Ian, you talked about seeing Yoda because he was your favorite. He's dead, but doesn't mean he makes a ghost appearance,
Yeah.
right?
No,
It's
yeah.
a little blue
Would you like
hologram
that
ghost.
though?
Yeah, I mean, if it adds to the reasoning,
That's pretty
as to,
established thing. As long as they don't fucking show Hayden Christensen's Anakin
Yeah.
like pop out of nowhere for no
yeah,
reason.
that makes
then
no
I'll be
sense.
fine.
Yeah.
But
But it'd be pretty cool to see like him relay a message or something to be like brought back in.
to
But
help Luke's training further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you see that in a lot of things with Star Wars. People coming back in some kind of force or something. So that'd be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
So what
And
would you
another
guys
thing-
like to see? Oh, sorry.
Well, I
go
was thinking, sorry, about Luke. One thing that they allude to in Return of the Jedi is not only is he like a light side, but he's a little bit more gray area for a Jedi because he force chokes, which is a dark side power on
Right.
the guards when he comes to Jabba's palace.
Oh, wow.
When he walks in, he just force chokes both of them and like kills them.
Holy shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I didn't
so,
know
like,
that.
Yeah,
Well, there
so I
is a
think-
story in the expanded universe where Luke goes to the dark side.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, maybe
Oh, I didn't know that.
maybe some of that knowledge that he knew, like, was taught by accident or or something, to these students of his, and that's why they like saw this power and they were like, "Wow, maybe we should go to the dark side." Like that seems really cool.
What if
Yeah.
Luke did go to the dark side?
Yeah. What if Luke did go to the dark side? Yeah. Who knows? And that's why he like went into exile because he didn't want to see face
Yep.
Han and Leia because he's like, "Oh shit! Like I just turned your son into like
What
a
if
mass murderer."
What if Kylo Ren was just following Luke's
Yeah.
orders?
The Knights of Ren? I want to know about those guys.
Yeah.
They talked
And
about
Luke is actually the big ultimate bad guy. At the
No,
end.
that I wouldn't.
No, I think he's redeemed himself, but like I think he's just done some shit that he's not proud of.
Yeah.
And Kylo
Yeah,
Ren
'cause
has
I was like-
turned good
Yeah.
to fight Luke.
Because I hope there's like a backstory like that because like I don't like it just sounds so kind of like I wouldn't say cliche but like like oh yeah I just my sister and my best friend or whatever I lit him down by like letting their son like become a mass murderer. I'm just gonna go into exile and hiding because I blame myself. It just doesn't sound
Well, maybe
Like-
not. I mean, obviously, if they're the writers, they can make it a little bit more like gratifying than that. But
okay. What would
essentially,
you got? Yeah, go ahead.
I think that could be part of the problem. Like he taught them something they shouldn't have been taught, or like they learned something from him that they shouldn't have learned, and that's the reason they were betrayed.
Yeah.